The sun begins its slow descent. It paints the western sky in hues of orange and deep purple. Here, at the edge of the continent, the great Pacific Ocean breathes a steady rhythm. Waves crash against ancient cliffs, a sound that has echoed for millennia. The air is cool and tastes of salt. A gentle breeze whispers through the hardy coastal sagebrush, carrying the scent of damp earth and wild blossoms. This is a land of breathtaking beauty, a place where nature's grandeur is on full and constant display. The horizon seems to stretch into infinity, a vast, unbroken line of water meeting sky. Listen closely. Beyond the roar of the surf, another sound emerges. It is the hum of a city, a low thrum of life and movement. Cars flow like rivers of light along winding coastal roads. Distant laughter drifts up from the beaches below, where figures are silhouetted against the fading light. The city is a living organism, its energy palpable even from this distance. It pulses with ambition and dreams, a beacon of progress nestled against the untamed ocean. The contrast is stark, the wild and the tamed existing side by side, each with its own powerful presence. One feels small here, a quiet observer of two immense forces. As twilight deepens, the city's lights begin to sparkle. They form a brilliant constellation against the darkening land. Each light represents a home, a life, a story. From this vantage point, the urban sprawl looks like a blanket of stars fallen to earth. It is a spectacle of human creation, a testament to our ability to build and organize. The sound of the city softens into a murmur, a backdrop to the more immediate sounds of the natural world. A lone gull cries out as it soars overhead, its call a sharp, lonely note in the evening air. The wind picks up slightly, rustling the leaves of the Tory pines that cling to the cliffs. But there is another layer to this landscape, one not so easily seen from a distance. It exists in the spaces between, in the shadows cast by the gleaming towers and manicured parks. It is a world hidden in plain sight, a silent narrative unfolding beneath the surface of this idyllic scene. To understand it, one must move closer. One must walk away from the grand vistas and into the forgotten corners. The journey begins where the polished sidewalks end, where the city's hum gives way to a different, more haunting kind of quiet. A story of survival is waiting to be told. If you found this journey compelling, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more stories from the shadows and the light. Your support helps us bring these hidden narratives to life. We move inland, away from the coast's gentle breath. The landscape changes. The wide open spaces give way to a maze of concrete and steel. Overpasses soar overhead, their massive pillars like the legs of colossal beasts. The constant roar of traffic replaces the sound of the waves. The air here is thick with the smell of exhaust and sun-baked asphalt. This is the city's circulatory system, its arteries and veins, pulsing with relentless motion. Sunlight filters down in harsh geometric patterns, illuminating dust motes dancing in the still air beneath the structures. It is an environment built for machines, not for living things. Here, in the deep shadows of the freeways, a different kind of settlement has taken root. Tents, fashioned from tarps and salvaged materials, cluster together like strange, fragile fungi. They cling to the edges of the concrete world, in spaces the city has overlooked. These are the homes of the unseen, the walking ghosts of the urban wilderness. Their existence is a quiet testament to a struggle that unfolds daily, far from the gaze of the bustling world above. The ground is a carpet of dry, compacted dirt, littered with the detritus of modern life. A profound silence hangs in these spaces, broken only by the rumble of cars passing overhead. Life here is lived according to a different rhythm. It is dictated not by clocks and calendars, but by the rising and setting of the sun and the search for basic necessities. A shopping cart, piled high with meager possessions, stands like a silent monument to a life in motion. Its rusted wheels have traveled countless miles across the city's unforgiving surfaces. Each object within it, a rolled-up blanket, a plastic water jug, a tattered book, tells a piece of a larger story. These are the tools of survival in a world that offers little comfort. The air feels heavy, imbued with a sense of stillness and waiting. The inhabitants of this shadow world move with a quiet, deliberate grace. They are masters of invisibility, blending into the urban background. A figure emerges from a tent, their movements slow and measured, as if conserving every ounce of energy. They look up at the concrete ceiling above, their sky, before disappearing back into the darkness. There is a palpable sense of community here, born of shared hardship. A whispered conversation, a shared meal, a watchful eye kept for a neighbor. These are the threads that hold this fragile ecosystem together, a human network woven in the city's forgotten heart. The journey continues, leading us to the city's green spaces. Manicured parks with their lush lawns and swaying palm trees offer a stark contrast to the concrete jungle. Here, the sound of sprinklers creates a gentle, rhythmic hiss. The air is fragrant with the scent of cut grass and blooming flowers. Families gather on blankets, their laughter echoing across the open fields. It is an oasis of tranquility, a carefully curated slice of nature designed for recreation and peace. The sun shines brightly, dappling the ground through the fronds of the tall palms, creating a shifting mosaic of light and shadow. Yet, even in this paradise, the other world intrudes. Along the park's periphery, where the manicured lawns meet the untamed scrubland, another city has risen. Rows of tents, in a kaleidoscope of faded colors, line the sidewalks and dirt paths. They stand as a silent, surreal counterpoint to the idyllic scene just feet away. The graceful palms that offer shade to picnickers also shelter these makeshift homes. The contrast is jarring, a collision of two vastly different realities occupying the same physical space. The boundary between them is invisible, yet as solid as a wall. The residents of this tent city live a life of profound exposure. They are subject to the full force of the elements, the scorching sun, the sudden downpours, the chilling night air. Their thin nylon walls offer little protection against the world. Every day is a battle for survival, a constant effort to maintain a foothold in a world that seems determined to sweep them away. A woman sits on an overturned bucket, carefully mending a tear in a piece of clothing. Her focus is absolute, her movements precise. It is a small act of defiance, a way of imposing order on a chaotic existence. Sounds from the park drift over, the cheerful shouts of a child's game, the tinny music from a portable speaker. For the people in the tents, these sounds are a constant reminder of the world they are excluded from. They are like ghosts at a feast, present but unseen, their struggles unheard above the joyful noise. A man stands motionless, staring out across the green expanse, his expression unreadable. Is he remembering a different life, or is he simply gathering the strength to face another day? Here, resilience is not a choice. It is the very currency of life. We follow the path of a river that cuts through the city. It's really just a mere trickle for much of the year, its wide, sandy bed exposed to the sun. The riverbed is like a scar on the landscape, a dry artery just waiting for the lifeblood of rain. Along its banks, a unique and hardy ecosystem has adapted to these arid conditions. Willows and cattails grow in dense thickets, their roots reaching deep for hidden moisture. The air is still and hot, and honestly, the only sound is the gentle rustle of dry leaves in the faint breeze. The silence here is, well, profound, a stark contrast to the noise of the city that lies just beyond the river's edge. This dry riverbed has become a refuge for many. It's a hidden corridor, a place to disappear from the world above. Tents and more permanent-looking structures, built from plywood and scavenged pallets, are tucked away within the dense vegetation. They're almost perfectly camouflaged, their muted colors blending with the earthy tones of the riverbed. This is a wilderness within the city, a place where people have carved out an existence far from prying eyes. Following the winding sandy paths feels a lot like exploring a secret, forgotten world, one that operates by its own rules and its own code. Life in the riverbed is a constant negotiation with nature. The inhabitants must contend with insects, snakes, and the ever-present threat of a sudden flood. Yet, for many, these natural dangers are preferable to the challenges of living on the city streets. Here, there is a sense of autonomy, a freedom from the constant scrutiny and judgment of the outside world. A small, carefully tended garden has been planted in a clearing. Its green shoots a vibrant splash of life against the beige sand. It's a symbol of hope, an assertion of humanity in the most unlikely of places. As we walk, the feeling of being an intruder is strong. We are visitors in a sovereign territory. A dog barks from within a makeshift encampment, its warning echoing through the quiet canyon. A face peeks out from behind a tarp, observing us with cautious eyes before vanishing again. There is a deep-seated distrust of outsiders here, born from years of being moved, displaced, and ignored. The people of the river are a tribe, bound together by their shared exile. Their story is written in the sand, a tale of survival against all odds, washed away and rewritten with every passing season. As dawn breaks, the city begins to stir, but for some, the day began long ago, in the cold pre-dawn darkness. A tide of human figures begins to move through the empty streets. They walk with purpose, pushing shopping carts laden with their worldly goods. These are the nomadic inhabitants of the urban landscape, constantly in motion. They must pack up their temporary homes before the city fully awakens, before the authorities arrive to enforce the rules of public space. Their daily migration is a silent, somber procession, a ritual of displacement and resilience. The sounds of this early morning are subtle: the squeak of a cart's wheel, the rustle of a sleeping bag being rolled, the soft murmur of a conversation. Each person is an island, lost in their own thoughts, yet part of a larger, unspoken community. They move along the sidewalks and through the alleys, their silhouettes stark against the first light of day. They are heading towards service centers, recycling depots, or maybe just a new quiet corner where they can rest for a few hours. Their journey is a map of the city's hidden resources and forgotten spaces. We watch as one man meticulously organizes his cart. Every item has its place: blankets folded neatly, plastic bags tied in tight knots, aluminum cans crushed and stored in a separate container. This act of organization is not just about efficiency, it's a way of maintaining dignity. It's a small act of control in a life defined by powerlessness. He works with a quiet focus, his movements economical and practiced. He's performed this same ritual countless times, a daily ceremony that marks the beginning of another day of survival on the streets. The world around him is slowly coming to life, but he remains in his own solitary bubble. This daily tide is a powerful, visible manifestation of the crisis. It flows through the city's veins, a constant moving reminder of the people who have been left behind. Yet, for most of the city's residents, now beginning their morning commute, this tide is invisible. It's a background detail, a part of the urban scenery that is noticed but not truly seen. The figures pushing their carts are like ghosts, passing through the world of the living without leaving a trace. Their presence is a quiet but persistent question, a challenge to the conscience of the city itself. Our journey ends where it began, overlooking the vast expanse of the city and the sea. The sun is high in the sky now, illuminating the landscape in sharp detail. From this height, the individual struggles we have witnessed blend back into the larger picture. The tent cities, the riverbed encampments, the morning tide of moving souls, they all disappear into the sprawling tapestry of the metropolis. The city's hum is louder now, a confident roar of commerce and activity. The illusion of perfection is restored, the difficult truths once again hidden from view. But something has changed. The landscape no longer looks the same. The shadows between the buildings now seem deeper, more significant. The green spaces along the freeways and the dry riverbeds are no longer just empty spaces. They're habitats, filled with unseen life and untold stories. The sound of the wind whispering through the canyons seems to carry new echoes, the faint voices of those we have encountered. A quiet sense of awe settles in, an appreciation for the sheer tenacity of the human spirit in the face of overwhelming adversity. The beauty of the place is now intertwined with its sorrow. Within this urban wilderness, we have seen extraordinary resilience. We've seen people create communities in the most inhospitable of environments. We've seen them find dignity in small acts of order and beauty. We've seen them hold on to their humanity in a world that often seeks to strip it away. These are not just victims, they are survivors. They are masters of adaptation, possessing a knowledge of the city that few can claim. Their existence is a testament to the enduring power of life to find a way, even in the cracks of a concrete world. The story of this city is not just one of gleaming towers and sun-drenched beaches. It's also a story of shadows and ghosts, of survival and quiet defiance. It's a story that is still being written every single day in the forgotten corners and hidden canyons. As we stand here, listening to the wind and the distant hum of the city, we are left with a profound sense of connection. We have been a part of their world for a brief moment, and the haunting beauty of their struggle will remain with us long after we have left this place, an echo in the quiet chambers of the heart.